Let's talk about dual golden visa when the applicant and their family members could eventually become a citizen in Portugal. And being a member of the European Union, what's the benefit for those applicants?
So with one single investment, the investor, the main applicant, can bring his entire dependent family. What dependent means, or dependent for the specific program. So he can bring, the main applicant can bring the spouse or the civil partner in case they are not married, but they are together for more than 2 or at least 2 years. They can apply together. So a civil partner, a girlfriend, they can also apply. Then they can include their dependent children, kids under 18 years old, and also above 18 years old to a limit of 25 years old to start the program. This is quite important to understand. Okay, if the kids are 23 or 24, they can be included in the program also, as long as the 3 conditions are met. They need to be students, they need to be single, not married, and they need to be still financially dependent on the investor. Okay, basically the investor is providing for them day-to-day expenses, for the university tuition, things like that. Okay, and so kids from 18 until a limit of 25 can also be included as long as they respect these 3 conditions that are important to understand. Then it's also possible to include parents and parents-in-law. Okay, as long as, and this is quite important to understand, if the parents or parents-in-law are already 65 years old or more, they can be included, and we don't need any supporting documents, financial supporting documents for that. Okay, if they are not yet 65, that dependency is not presumed, which means that we need to provide proof to the authorities that they have no income or they have a low income, so that we can provide proof to the authorities that the investor provides for them also. Okay, this is sometimes tricky and not easy to provide. Depends on, it's a case by case. We can of course check with each client. Okay, but it's important to note if they are 65 or more, this is not needed. They can be included without no questions asked, so to say. Okay, and
Great.
Yes, everyone will be part of the EU. Portugal is a EU country since 1987, so one of the first ones. And being a resident in Portugal means that with that residency card, they can access any Schengen countries without the need for a visa as a tourist. Okay, and Schengen countries include all EU countries, but also some others that are not members of EU, like Norway, Switzerland, Luxembourg, okay, that are EU but not, that are Schengen but not EU. So it's more countries than EU actually to access without any visa needs. And one day, once they get the Portuguese passport, they will become Europeans, which means that with the Portuguese passport, you can not only live in Portugal, but you have residency rights in any other EU country. Okay, if you are Portuguese, like myself, yourself actually, if you want, right, and if you want to live, as you know, if you want to live in Italy, for instance, you can register yourself as European living in Italy. You need an address and a tax number there, and you get the residency the same day. Costs 15 euros, and it's for 5 years renewable. So it's that easy. You go to the parish, register yourself as an European. So as an European, you can live in any other EU country, you, your kids, your family, with the cards. So during the first 5 years, you can access them without visa. That's one of the main benefits of the program.
And perhaps eventually they could, being a Portuguese, they could move to another country, for example, Italy, Spain, and to get an employment contract easier than most foreigners.
Of course, because you don't need to apply for a specific visa. You don't need to undergo that scrutiny, provide those documents, going to the embassies. The processes always take time, like at least a year or more, even for a job. And so it's not easy. Being an European, of course, if you want to move to any country, create a business, work there, work for a company there, you are already there, you are a resident, so it's much easier. And for instance, if your kids wants to study in European universities, it's also much different. Even the tuition they pay are different, are less than a non-national or a non-EU national. So this is quite different. There are a window of opportunities that opens to our applicants, not only having a passport, but also being an European. So having all the benefits as we have in Europe, which are some important ones: education, healthcare, things like that. And of course, the day-to-day life that is great in terms of safe, etc.